Welcome to Twisted Tales.
Twisted Tales, Twisted Tales, blood and bones and no trails. Twisted Tales, true got teeth and drags their nails. Urban riding back road sin, dead men talking through the wind. Cursed objects kill a law. Once you hear it, you want more. No fairy dust, no happy end, just how the nightmare really went. Turn it up.
Hey everybody, this is Jeremy Cotter. Episode 4 of Twisted Tales, and tonight I have a guest I've been looking forward to talking to for a long time, a good close personal friend of mine. He is the head of the Warner Paranormal Preservation Society as well as the Warner Paranormal Explorers, Mr. Matt Warner. Welcome, Matt Warner, to Twisted Tales.
What's up, man? I appreciate you having me on here.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're a very, very busy man. You got a lot of stuff going on, and I like having you on this evening. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to sit here and talk about all things paranormal and horror and everything else that goes along with it. So, so I usually like to start the show with get a little background on how'd you get involved with the paranormal in the first place? A little bit of backstory.
Oh, well, I'll give you the nickel tour. Basically, I grew up a fan of horror movies. From a young age, I grew up next to my grandparents, and my nana was really cool, and she would let me watch whatever and buy me anything I asked for, no questions asked. So I was able to access that stuff at a younger age, and their house actually was haunted.
Oh wow!
I never had any personal experiences in their house, but I grew up in a family that accepted ghosts as a real thing, and it wasn't hush hush or you're crazy. So I was very open minded from a young age when it came to that stuff. So. Fortunately, I've grown up around it, and I kind of never look back. I guess it was always part of it. They go hand in hand with horror. Anybody that likes horror, I feel like likes the ghost stuff too, because they're kind of the same,
No, I definitely agree with you, man. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, with almost 2 decades worth of experience dealing with the paranormal and all sorts of different hauntings and.
Even longer now, man. I'm getting old.
Oh man, trust me, I understand how that feels. That's for sure, especially with this New England cold weather the way that it's been. So, when was your first actual paranormal experience?
My first paranormal experience. Shit. I'm just trying to share this out to people at the same time.
It's all good.
First paranormal experience. Let me see here. I mean, I remember like being young and having like odd things happen that I couldn't really explain.
Yeah.
Feelings and things like that. But I remember one of the earliest memories I have, and this isn't that young, but I was a teenager at the time, and I had just moved bedrooms at my house, and it wasn't quite fully set up yet because I was like rushing to get in there. I'd been painting and then like moving some crap in, and I didn't have it all fully set up yet. But it was late night, and I was watching TV, and the TV wasn't directly in front of me. It was like off to the side, like angled. So you had to kind of like watch it like that. And I forget what I was watching, just watching a movie or something. And all of a sudden, like on the screen, a silver like face appeared in the screen. It wasn't the whole screen, but it was in like the bottom corner. And it was looking directly at me, which was crazy because it wasn't in front of me. It was off to the side, but its focus was on me. And I was like, dude, what the hell is that? And I like kind of blinked a little bit, and it kept looking at me. I just shut the TV off. I was like, I don't know what's going on. And I just chalked it up as to being, kind of tired. And
wow.
At that point, I had been absorbing as much paranormal stuff as I could between books and the TV shows that were now finally out and things like that. So I was fully immersed in everything when it came to that. So I wasn't unsure of what I saw, but I also couldn't explain it. So it just further led me to keep looking into things. And now, a million years later, I realize it's probably just the early onset of the spirits trying to find me, because I'm a magnet for spirit activity. So I think they could sense that a long time before I knew anything was going on with me. So,
well, that definitely makes sense. Once you start getting the bug and you start getting a lot of interactions. So what made you get into the actual paranormal investigating part of the paranormal? I mean, you've had your experiences when you were younger as a child, but when did you actually get into the investigating part, like going into different locations and stuff like that?
So I started. I remember. It goes back to the books and stuff like that, and then the advent of the TV shows. Like the first shows were like sightings. This was before the ghost hunting shows. It was like sightings, which was primarily alien stuff. But then they would have every year Unsolved Mysteries would do their Halloween special, and it'd be on ghosts and things like that. And then the paranormal ghost hunting shows came out, and it's like, holy shit, like this is a thing. People can do this stuff. So I took it a little more seriously. I was like, all right, I'm not the only weirdo on the block that likes this stuff. And I would research and read books and things like that. And I would try to go and check out any places near me locally. And, at the time I didn't know I was, investigating, but that's exactly what I was doing. I just didn't have the means that we have today, which honestly was better, because most of the crap we use today is absolute crap anyways, and not doing anything. So, you start using your senses because it's all you know at that point in time. And Christ, this was before cell phones existed, so I really didn't have anything. I was just, raw dogging it, and it's such a more pure experience, and that's kind of why I'm much closer to that side of investigating styles now than I ever was.
Even like the old school tape deck, we had to press the record button and the play button at the same time and play with on the cassettes and stuff like that. And
yep, I still have one of those.
I actually found one at a flea market last year. I bought it just in case we ever do any more investigating. I actually want to try to use the old school methods like that, because
absolutely,
it's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think you and I first met 2018. We were doing that investigation at the New Orleans. It was a National Ghost Hunting Day at the Orleans Waterfront Inn. Remember that? That is interesting.
Yeah, and I think every time that's brought up, I apologize to you for that event.
But you know what? That event is what brought us all together. And we, there was some really interesting stuff that happened in Orleans, and then different events like Lizzie Borden's and stuff like that as well.
What's weird about that Orleans Way Inn is that was the first and only time, and I used to be, oh, this is gonna make me sound crazy. I don't give a shit. I think that I had a pre-attachment before we went to that investigation, and for whatever reason that day I was really, really on edge, and I was really like just full of piss and vinegar. I was angry that day, and by the time we had gotten down there, this isn't like me. This wasn't like me. It isn't like me now. I was like, I need a drink before I go here. Now, I used to like to have a couple drinks before public speaking because that shit used to scare me, and I hated it, and I had to do it, and it loosened me up. But investigation-wise, it was never a thing. And I remember I went to the liquor store right near the Orleans Way Inn, and I got a half pint of Southern Comfort. And we pulled into the parking lot, and I chugged the entire thing. And I've never drank that way before, but I plowed the whole thing, and it didn't even affect me the way it should have. And on we went. But as as we learned more throughout the night, like the supposed hanging and whatnot in the bell tower or whatever that thing was, like the guy was an alcoholic. I truly believe that like his spirit like came to me prior to that event. And that's kind of what created that reason. But that whole event was just a cluster F. You know what I mean? There was a lot of weird things going on.
No, I definitely agree. I mean, I got a chance to meet a lot of new people that I hadn't interacted with before, who I consider part of my paranormal family, like you guys and Russ and Nicole and everybody else at that point. And so I know you were with a previous organization at that point, and there's no need to drudge up all of that happiness. But so when did you start the birth of the Warner Paranormal Explorers?
So Warner Paranormal Explorers, that started in it was November of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah, that was when I had the idea. I said, all right, you know what? Like I know enough, and I'm an Aries, so I'm naturally a leader. It's just something that I take on. I'm not a bossy type of person, but I just take charge and get things done because that's how I roll. So I knew that I was capable of doing my own thing.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing clearly, and I had a lot of good connections and a lot of good people that I like to hang out and do shit with. So I was like, why not, birth my own thing? And that's when the Warner Paranormal Explorers came to be.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, hey, I got the sweatshirt right here.
Oh yeah, you do. Much appreciated.
Oh, of course. It was a good time, and then I know from there you spawned the Warner Paranormal Preservation Society.
Correct.
And that was what, 2021, 2022.
That started in 2022.
2022?
The idea was born in 2021 when I
Yeah.
first started trying to get myself situated with and into Hartsuff Hall, and then 2022 is when the birth of that occurred. And
That's awesome.
the reason for the two separate ones, now Explorers captures more what I do. It really captures what I do because I like to just explore. I'm not always just investigating. I love to do urban exploration. I like, treasure hunting. I like all of these things. So for me, just being called a ghost hunter is such a closed off thing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to be the Explorers because it captures everything that we were doing at the time and having fun. And at that point in time, a lot of people, the purists, I wish they were still around because the field's a joke now. But the purists were like, oh, well, you have to take everything so seriously and you have to do this. It's like, no, you don't do this. That's bullshit. Like I do this for fun. Like this isn't a job. No one's making real money off of this, So I love that. Hey, Lisa, I love the fact that we've been the Explorers for so long because now all these other people are trying to, add that tagline to their shit. And it's like, yeah, whatever, man. I've been doing that forever, and the separation occurred because with the Preservation Society, there was a different business model, different ending. And the whole purpose of the society that I put together was to create a collective of people that would work together to help preserve historic locations through the paranormal. And, we have Hartsuff Hall, we have the House of Hirt and Payne that I now live at. Worked out pretty well for me, I'll say. We were this close to having another location towards the tail end of last year that kind of fell through, and that's the way it goes. So I'm always keeping my ears open to places that might benefit from what I have to offer. So we're always looking,
That definitely makes sense. I mean, it's always good to expand the society and help out as many places as possible. And, places that aren't really well known by a lot of people, because let's face it, some places have definitely been investigated to death. The bones have been picked pretty dry in a lot of locations,
Oh yeah.
Some try to reinvent themselves and it doesn't necessarily work out to their best benefit. We both know that for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So if you wouldn't mind, give us a little history of like the Hartsuff Hall. Like I know the place is magical, but I don't know a lot of like the background behind the hall. If you could, expand on the hall a little bit.
Yeah, I know that shit better than most other things. So, Hartsuff Hall, it's in Rockland, Mass. It is my headquarters, basically my home base. Probably my absolute favorite building on this planet. And it was built in 1899 as a Grand Army of the Republic Hall, a place for Civil War veterans and their families to go for meetings and gathering spots. And it's been used over the years for all sorts of different things. We think Oddfellows practiced there. We have reason to believe they did. We've been told otherwise, but we feel that they were practicing there at some point or another. It's been used as a day school. There's been a couple funerals, couple weddings held there.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful place. And it's one of only 5 all wooden halls left in Massachusetts. It's on the National Historic Registry of Deeds. And what's up, Bennett? And yes, the stained glass windows, they are original to the building. They were used as fundraisers to help raise the money to build the building, which in 1899 cost $10,000. And it's a 4-floor building. The basement has a rifle shooting range in it. The attic is the coolest attic I've ever seen in my whole life. And it's a wonderful place. And it is full of spirits. We have found and actively, I don't say labeled because you can't really label, but we've communicated with 6 or 7 different spirits in there more than once. So I'm pretty certain of at least 4 in that building that I communicate with almost every time. And it's been wonderful for us. What's up, Kyle? Hi, Alan. It's been wonderful for us to have this building, and to be able to just go there whenever I want, walk around is wonderful. And I'm very fortunate. I've had some of the people I look up to in the paranormal field actually been able to come through there, corroborate everything that we've seen and heard, and give it the stamp of approval. And it's great. It's one of those. It's still kind of a, hidden gem, so to speak, but it's known.
Relatively unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jess. Hey, Megan. We're getting all kinds of people in here. Look at that. Cheers to you guys. Woo Wednesday, beers and chats.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, I mean, from the experiences that I've had, the times that we were down there, it definitely is very active. I mean, I know that the rifle range, the first couple of times was very, very active when we were down there, and the ballroom upstairs with all the pictures on the walls and the attic. My God, the attic! Yeah. You walk in certain areas, you can feel them like almost breathing on you in certain areas up there. That was, the interactions that we had when we were there was definitely cool, and I'm sure that it's gotten even more interactive since we've been there. And the hall is a beautiful place. If anybody wants to get in contact with, do you still do private investigations through the hall still? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Yep, we do the private rentals, and we do public events. We've got a couple of events coming up now. We're looking to book something out every month this year and have options for everybody.
That's awesome, man. I mean, anybody wants to get a hold of Matt and possibly book a private event, it's definitely a place that's worth going to check out. Definitely. And then your secondary location, the House of Hirt and Payne, definitely, I've been through there, and that place definitely has some energy behind it too. If you could give us a little bit of history on the House of Hirt and Payne.
Yeah. So the place that I'm sitting in right now, the House of Hirt and Payne, is actually where I live now. Because why wouldn't I live in a haunted house, but a few years back, I'm trying to think here. 6 years, maybe 7 years ago, the previous owner's mother passed away, and she was 100 years old, and she passed away in this house right on the other side of this wall in her bedroom. And we have a mutual friend. And so we went in, and he asked me, he said, hey, the previous owner, his name was Ed. He said, Ed's been waking up in the night, hearing his mother call out for him. He comes down to check on her. Obviously, she's passed away. He's freaking out. So it got to the point where he was so bothered by it, he actually took her bed out, cut it up, and threw it away because he thought the bed was haunted.
Okay.
It didn't fix the problem. So I came in and I did some investigations. Actually, I was sitting in this room, and the room was very different when I was here. And we got some interactions. It wasn't life-changing, like, run for the hills type stuff, but we had some things happen, and we caught an actual shadow figure on video in her bedroom. And I said, obviously I can't prove to you that this is what's going on, but there's something going on here. So definitely it's a haunted house. And a couple of years later, fast forward, he decides he wants to, up and move to Florida and retire.
Yeah.
Now, my buddy, his property abuts this property, and he didn't want to lose his frontage, being a backyard. He didn't want it to be sold and made condos or whatever. So I said, hey, it's not going to change your life, but we could do some ghost stuff there because it's a very active house.
Yeah.
So for almost a year, he worked on getting the house up to where we could have people in and do some tours and things like that. And it started off slow. We actually started off with photography tours in the beginning because the whole house was left with 80 years of this family's stuff in it. The whole house.
I remember seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. And the house itself is from 1906. There's been 4 different families that have lived here prior to me coming here. So that's a lot of stuff left behind and a lot of history. 4 people have passed away in the house. We have all their death certificates, confirming that they passed in the house, or at least that's what the death certificates say.
Right.
And so I was acting as like the liaison to get people to come and go and come and go. And I was at a point where I had to move out of my apartment. Oh, he sure is. I was wondering if she was going to show up or not. Didn't know if you were asleep, babe. She loves this house. She's gotten used to it. Trisha's gotten used to this place.
Nice.
But so I was in need of a place, and I said to my buddy, I said, if you are still up for it, I could be the living caretaker for a little bit till I find suitable living quarters and whatnot.
Right.
So that's what I did, and I planned to be here for a few months and kind of just like squat, basically.
Yeah.
I left all my shit in storage. I went and bought a ghetto IKEA bed and a little TV because I can't be without TV.
Oh, no.
And I will tell you, for the first 3 weeks I lived in this house, I hated every minute of it.
Really?
Like, I would come home and I would be so freaking scared to be here. I would sit in the kitchen with the kitchen TV on, eat my dinner, because there was no TV in the living room or anything like that. And the only other TV was up in my bedroom, which was full of old people shit. So I would basically sit in the kitchen with the TV very loud so I didn't have to hear anything. And also, I didn't her bedroom is off the kitchen, which you've been here. You realize that. So I would never look in there either. I was like, I don't want to. No, I'm not. Because I saw Dorothy 2 weeks before I moved into this house. I saw her standing in her bedroom looking at me, clear as day, like you and I do.
Yeah.
And that was enough for me. It didn't scare me because it was warm. And it was like, okay, I'm not mad at this, but it was weird, So what I did for that first 3 weeks, I would finish dinner, stay up as late as I could down here. I'd go up to my bedroom and I would shut that bedroom door and I would not come out of that room.
Oh, Jesus.
If I woke up and had to take a piss, which is every night for me, I didn't have to anymore. I wasn't going. It's like, nope, you go back to sleep. And it took a long time for me to get used to being okay with that.
Yeah.
It's funny because when Trish stays over, she actually makes us shut the door. She thinks I'm a weirdo for sleeping with the door open, but I'm like, whatever. I live alone and the ghosts know not to come in here. But actually early on, one time I was laying in there after I'd gotten comfortable and I felt something come into the room.
What's up, Nate?
What's up, Nate? And I couldn't see it, but it was like that predator heat signature type shit going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, out of here. You're not allowed in my room. This is a safe space. Get out of my room. And I never had an issue in there again, which was good. But this house will speak to you with literal voices, but also footsteps and noises. Was the night of the Super Bowl. After everybody left, I was laying in bed and I heard some sort of commotion from my daughter's bedroom across the hall. I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to check that out. See you later. Kyle has slept here twice on the couch and hadn't experienced both times.
Hey,
so, hey, Christy, he knows his place is pretty active too. But it's a comfortable active. It's nothing, evil or bad or anything like that. It's just energy in this house. And for the most part, I know they don't like my music. They don't really love my taste of decor, but they like me being here and they understand that I'm bringing life to the house. So it's been a good coexistence.
That's definitely important, because if you're going to live in a location like that, the one or two times that I've actually walked through that house, I mean, me, I can pick up anything, and it's like, holy dear God, that one room that had the rocking horse and all the dolls on the freaking bed.
Yeah.
And the first time I walked by that room, the rocking horse was going back and forth on its own. Like, okay, that's cool. I know I'm not gonna bother you. I'm not gonna touch your stuff.
That's actually Kyle's spare bedroom now when he comes down.
Nice. Oh my God, no. So, so you were talking earlier when we were advertising that you have an event coming up this weekend at the hall on Valentine's Day of all wonderful days of the year. Yep. You want to tell people about the event?
So what we were figuring, all right, what can we do that makes for a different type of a date night? Or also, what if you don't have a date and you just want to go do something cool? This time of year is really hard to do anything because no one's doing anything. So I was kind of kicking the idea around with Kyle and Trish, and I said, what if we would just do a Valentine's Day ghost hunt? Nothing outrageous out of the way, Trish. What she fails to mention is that when she stays over, I have to sleep on the different side of the bed than normal, and it's the one next to the door. So I'm protecting her at all times. So she's
give her a shield. Yeah, I understand that.
Exactly. I'm Operation Human Shield. But yeah, so the event itself, it's going to be just, a traditional ghost hunt gathering, but we're going to have some little twists on it for Valentine's Day. We're going to have some different games that you can play. The one I'm excited for is Spin the Bottle. Unfortunately, it's not going to be to make out with anybody, but if you choose to, you can spin the bottle, and whatever card it lands on, you're going to flip over that card, and you have to do that challenge by yourself. So we're going to have different challenges. Awesome. Yeah, dude, like you'll have to, and we've all heard of 7 minutes in heaven. The challenge will be based around 7 minutes of solitary. So you don't know what you'll land on.
There's some places in that hall I wouldn't want to spend 7 minutes on my.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be optional, not mandatory, but we just want to do a little fun twist on things like that and give people an opportunity to get out and do something in the middle of winter when there's nothing going on.
That's a great idea. I mean, Gene and I are going to, I think it's Factory of Terror for the Bloodborne challenge.
I just saw that earlier. That looks cool as hell.
I never even knew it existed until she told me, "Hey, let's go do that." Because we don't like to do traditional Valentine's Day stuff. It's not our jam. Next thing I know, now I'm getting advertisements for it all over Facebook, all over TikTok, all over freaking everything. I'm like, okay, now that I know it exists, for some reason, the bots that run these computers are like, they get into your head and they just send all sorts of stuff. Hey, Jason.
What's up, Jason?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, I know that you also do a lot of work with the Wilson Castle in Vermont. You usually have your yearly Halloween extravaganza up there.
Yeah, we had another great year this year. This year was scary because I make mid-level content. I don't pretend that I'm great at much. Like I make shit that makes me smile and it's simple. I didn't grow up with technology, so I didn't have that luck, but I had made a video for Wilson Castle, and it was some of my drone footage that I had taken at one point. I put one of my favorite Godsmack songs to it and just blasted it out there on TikTok, promoting that I had this event coming up, and I decided we're going to do a vampires ball. Well, that video went viral and had over 2 million views and thousands of comments, and thousands of these comments saying, "Oh, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there." And now I'm paranoid because I like low-key events of like 20 or 30 people that are manageable. And I like to know everybody so I don't have to behave,
Exactly, yeah.
So this kicks off and I have to let Wilson Castle folks know, hey, by the way, this has happened. I hope it's a good thing and it gets all this attention for the castle, and I hope all these people don't show up. So they didn't, which was good.
Right.
But it was a learning experience that I will no longer advertise paranormal events on TikTok because you don't know what's going to happen. And the people on TikTok are insane. So
really, even worse than other social platforms, huh?
Yeah, because it's like with Facebook and Instagram, you have a much more direct link, in my opinion, to people than TikTok. TikTok is such a random algorithm of just, pure nonsense that you never know what you're going to come across. So we learned a little bit, but the Wilson event went great. We've got it scheduled for again this year. We always do the last Saturday in October every year. It's a standing reservation that I never have to ask for. It's always there. And I'm going to be going up actually earlier this year to do some filming with my buddies and Soul Seekers.
Nice.
And potentially going up to do some filming with some friends coming up from down south as well. She hasn't confirmed when they're coming up, but I was invited. So might be up there a couple times this year.
That's fantastic, man. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't mention when you did the character, was it Crow Ravensfoot, when you used to do that crazy character for
oh yeah,
for those videos. I mean, I don't think anybody realizes, but you came up with this crazy character, and you were doing these video clips, and I think you even dressed like Crow Ravensfoot for like the first Wilson Castle Halloween party. I don't know if
it wasn't the first one, but I did. Yeah, when we did one of the Halloween ones, I did go as Crow Ravensfoot, and I will let you in on a little secret. Crow Ravensfoot is going to be resurrected.
Yeah, I know that it's definitely it's a satire about on certain genres in the paranormal, but those damn videos just busted me laughing, man. I'll tell you, there was some of the it was so creative. It's something like different than what anybody else was doing at the time. It's
yeah. I appreciate that because I had fun doing it, man.
It's great. I mean, I have some pictures on my phone of of like one of the Halloween things that we went to with you guys, and you had the whole Crow Ravensfoot character going on, and it's a great. If you like satire and you don't take it completely seriously, it brings to light a lot of the people who, for lack of a better term, fake what they're doing. And
oh yeah,
unfortunately, there's a lot of them that are there's a lot of people who legitimately have gifts, but there are some that definitely pretend and exploit them for financial gain. And I think Crow brought a lot of that to the surface, and anybody who got mad at it was probably in the category of those who deserve to be mad at it in the first place.
Well, and that's the whole thing, man. Like it started as a joke for that exact reason. Like you nailed it. Like I wanted to lampoon all the clowns out there, and now there's so many of them. It's like everywhere I turn, I don't know what's happened. I really don't. And like one of the things that I've always like really respected about you is how you're able to stay so neutral. Like you're, Switzerland with everything. And I used to be the same way. I used to always just roll with whoever, hang out with whoever. It's like, oh, you don't like this person? That's cool. That's not my problem. And it used to work just fine. And then it didn't work anymore. Like you have no idea how badly I want to just name people, but I'm not like that. Like there's so much shit going on right now. Like,
well, I understand.
There was, I was really friendly with this group of people, and I went and hung out with someone that they didn't like. And then all of a sudden they blocked me, unfriended me, spread rumors or whatever about me to other people that I was friends with, who then also blocked me and unfriended me. People that I considered actual friends. I'm like, you know what? You guys are all a bunch of fucking dipshits. So like, whatever. Like I'm going to be friends with whoever I want to be. And if you don't like that, too bad. Like it's just crazy to see all this stuff going on right now. Like doxing. I didn't even know what doxing was until recently.
Dude, I don't even know what the hell it is. I mean, you just mentioned it. I should know what the terminology is, but I'm not.
So basically, doxing is actually illegal. What it is when you publicly release someone's private information, like with their home address, their phone number, social security and stuff. There's people in this paranormal field that are actually actively doing this purposely now and bragging about it.
Really?
Like there's some dumbass idiot who has it in his profile like that. He's a doxer. And it's like you're an asshole, dude. Like these people, I don't understand. I don't get it. So you've known me a long time. I've never. That's space docking, Kyle.
No,
don't ask why I know this.
Oh dear God! I don't want to get into that. That's my Lord. That takes it to a different level right there, Kyle. No doubt. But no, Switzerland, so to speak.
Yeah.
I decided I let go of the hate a while ago. Like I was holding, dude. I understand. I might have seemed cool on the outside, but I was a rage bomb on the inside. And to be honest with you, I can get along with anybody. And just because I get along with you and I get along with somebody else doesn't mean you guys have to be friends. That's how I feel about it. Because
hey, Chris,
man, me, Gene and I, we get along with everybody in the paranormal. It doesn't matter what side of the coin it is.
I'm not kissing Kyle, by the way, Trish.
The only time that I get rid of somebody is if they cross Gene. When you cross that line, it's done. That's the line in the sand that I have. Aside from that, you can see what you want to about me. It wouldn't be the first time I've ever heard any of that stuff. But but no, I treat everybody with respect, and I try to bring as much positivity back into this field because I feel like so much of it got lost at one point or another.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll tell you, I don't carry hate. That's not an emotion that's worth carrying because it just brings you down. No. And I'll never wish anyone unwell. I just wish them the life that they deserve. And
exactly.
There's a lot of people out there that deserve a shit ass life, and they're gonna get it. Karma is my favorite.
If they delete you, you were better off with them deleting you in the first place.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
That's how I feel about it.
I lost a good pile of people that I didn't expect to over the past 6 months, and I was like, all right, well, that's cool. It's no loss on my part. Like I'm too old to care about that stuff.
I agree. Plus, it opens up for other people to come into your life that are supposed to come in and rise up your vibrations and bring you up to a better level than you were with those other people to begin with. Because I mean, if they were anchors and they were causing problems, that you don't need them anyway. And
absolutely, man.
I definitely noticed that, especially getting involved in this whole podcasting now. I've opened the doors and I've been meeting a lot of new people and embracing this culture. And I mean, this is a whole new thing for me. And it's definitely been a lot of fun, you know? And
Well, and that's just it. With you hosting a podcast, you have to be very neutral because, you know, there's going to be people that you have on that either don't like other guests coming up, vice versa, or people are going to watch, but I can't believe he's got this person on. That's your job as a host to be able to do all that. Like people need to understand that.
And you've done it before. And I know you used to also host another series of clips to Unpopular Opinion, which were definitely a very popular series.
Those made a lot of friends too.
What's that?
Those made a lot of friends too.
Yeah, you know what? It wasn't about think about the amount of views that those videos caught. I mean, that series of videos that you made were very, very popular, actually.
Well, and you know what? It was one of those things like, and that's why I've always had my detractors, because I don't bullshit anyone. Like I've never tolerated fake crap. I don't put up with fake people. And it's funny because I reflect a lot. Like I talk to myself all day long. We have great conversations, but I reflect on all these people that I've come across over the years that have distanced themselves. And it's been the best thing that could have ever happened for them. Not for me, but for them, because I don't. Yeah, basically, starring the entire field of the paranormal.
Dipping back into the paranormal a little bit. So, aside from the hall and the house of Hirt and Payne, what were some of your other favorite locations that you have investigated in over the years?
Oh man, I've been to so many great places. The Detroit 6th Precinct is always going to stand out as one of my favorites, which unfortunately is no longer available. Obviously, Waverly is always going to be in my top. I've been there a bunch. Ohio State Reformatory is fantastic. Moundsville was fantastic.
Oh, wow.
I've actually been to like last year, my daughter and I, my oldest daughter, we went to Ireland and we were able to go to like the Hellfire Club. And
wow.
It's just this ruins on the top of a hill. But like I explained to her, I said, you have no idea what this means to me to be walking here right now. Then we also went to Leap Castle. Like these were two of my absolute bucket list places, and we got to go to both of them. And so, I mean, these again, it traces back to the TV shows and all the books I read and all these places that people like, oh, like these are the places. Those are the places. You know, they're fantastic. And the only place I could say that I thought was like I'm not gonna say BS, but like way over the top was Mackey's. I think Bobby Mackey's was the most overhyped place I've ever investigated, and it wasn't what they said it was, but so be it. I mean, I had experiences there, but it wasn't, you know, the portal to hell in the basement, all that crap. I didn't get that vibe from the place. It was just a shithole bar that should have been condemned.
No, I mean, I definitely understand that. And you know as well as I do, just because I have an experience somewhere doesn't mean that you're going to have one. And just because you do doesn't mean that I'm going to have one. It all depends on who the spirits feel like talking to at any particular moment when you go. I mean, because you've had experiences at Lizzie Borden's just like I have. And I know some people who've gone there and been like, I had nothing all night long. And I stayed here overnight and there were no interactions at all. I'm like, wow. Because I mean, every time I go to that place was always crazy busy.
Yeah.
And you know, and then you get all the Conjuring House. A few times I was actually able to go to the Conjuring House before all the controversies that had happened recently. I mean, I had some amazing interactions at the Conjuring House too, and that place was.
I had stuff happen to me every time I was at the Conjuring House.
I mean, I haven't been there since after Corey and Jen left. You know, it was beautiful when they were there, and I missed those days. You know, for sure.
Yeah, and those days, unfortunately, are long gone.
Unfortunately, yeah. I mean, I barely even follow the whatever the heck's going on through the media with it now between, you know, all the parties involved. I tend to try to avoid all the drama if possible, you know.
It's not even worth being involved in because no one knows which way it's going to go and it doesn't change anything at the end of the day. You know, like it's one of those things that I'm glad I got to be there in the inception when Jen and Corey had it and get to go there all the time and hang out with them and be a part of that was fantastic.
Yeah, they were awesome people. You know, I definitely miss seeing those guys. You know, it's so. I recently saw you had some videos you put up with a particular haunted doll. Now, I always get her name butchered in my brain because for some reason I get some of the letters dyslexic. There she is.
This gal.
Can you talk to me about her and some of the stuff that you've been sharing through TikTok with her?
Hi, Melanie. Hawthorne Hotel. Doesn't do much for me. Been there a
Nice
couple of
place to
times.
sleep in once or twice, you know.
Yeah, I've slept there. I've investigated there. I don't know. It's overhyped also. And yes, Chris, love their German Shepherds. So Ameline is basically like my Annabelle. And so the room I'm sitting in is what I call the green room at my house. And it basically has all my haunted, I like to say enchanted objects. There's nothing in this room that's scary to me anyways. Over the years, people know that I'm the guy that will take anything that people can't have. So I've got dolls and all the Ouija boards, I got all kinds of shit. But Ameline was left in a friend's pickup truck in the back seat of his truck. And he's not sure at what point in time or for how long it was there. He just happened to notice it was sitting there one day. So he called me because he knew I was into the weirdo stuff. And he's like, if it's something you'd want, like, can you take it? I said, absolutely, I'll take it. And he sent me a picture. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty creepy. So he said he was going to talk to his wife and get back to me. I didn't hear from him for about a month. And after about a month, he called me. It was a Saturday morning. He said, if you want this thing, you got to come and get it right now, or I'm going to burn it. I said, all right, I come and get it. Like, what's up? What's going on? And he goes, yeah, Trish did have a dream about her, but it was a good dream. He said, well, my whole family's been fighting since we've had it around, and there was like deaths in his family and his friends and stuff like that. So it was just a lot of bad luck happening at the point in time. So I went and met him. He hadn't taken it out of his truck. It had been sitting in there. And so I brought some sage just to smudge his truck, make him feel better. And when I got there, I opened his truck. He opened the truck. I went and grabbed her. As soon as I picked her up, the electricity energy from her went right through my arms. Like that's kind of how I know an object has something to it. I can feel it. This one I could feel right off the rip. And I said, okay, put her in the car. And I remember because that day my daughter and we had gone to IKEA for some crap. And like I put her in there with all the IKEA shit in the backseat of my car. And we went home. And Christ, this might have been, this is like 5 or 6 years ago. I've had it for a long time now. Right. And what I used to do at that point in time, because at this point in time, people were sending me things like, I can't have this. It's coming to you. I'll give this to you. And I would go live on my Facebook pages with her, show everybody, or, whatever the object was, like, hey, this is my new haunted object. What do you guys think? And I'd run some equipment and do little fun live investigation stuff like that. And I didn't even get to do that before I started noticing I didn't feel right. And for a couple of days, I felt like very angry and on edge and way more of an a-hole than I usually was. So I was like, all right, I gotta do this reveal, because I would usually do a reveal and then smudge my house afterwards and settle things out, whatever, Palo Santo, all that crap. So I was at home alone, which is most nights, and I set up the computer just like I have now. We went live, had the obelisk out, some other crap. And I had a bunch of people watching, a couple different psychics that were, throughout the country. And one of them texts me and she goes, the energy in your house right now is out of control. Like I can feel it from watching your video that it's like swirling around. And I said, oh, I can feel it. It felt like the Tasmanian devil, like just going around and around. Okay. And she's just sitting here next to me on the couch. Not this house, my old apartment. And so I started running the equipment, and I asked, like, can you tell me your name? Can you tell me your name? And the obelisk said Ameline, which is a word I'd never heard of before, a word that I didn't know. So I looked it up, and it's a French word that means hard worker. Okay. So I said, okay, your name is Ameline. I get it. A few other things that the obelisk was spitting out was water, New Orleans, and obviously Ameline, which is French. So my first thought, I didn't say out loud, is voodoo. I'm thinking New Orleans voodoo.
Right.
She has a noose around her neck.
Wow. Yep. Look at that. Yeah.
And it's an actual hangman's noose. And of course, I'm a guy and I'm curious and I want to take it off. And I've always wanted to take it off. And the first thing one of the psychics said was, do not take that off. I said, but I really want to take it off.
Yeah.
She goes, whatever that is, whatever spell has that spirit with that vessel, that's keeping everything contained. Don't take it off.
It's
So
a
I didn't.
binder. Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a binding thing. So I never took it off. At this point, I can feel the energy in my house, like getting a little more wild. At that point, broadcast died, computer went down, power went out at my house. And I'm like sitting there in the dark with her and no one else. And I'm like, this is friggin' horrifying. So everything clicked back on. It was good. Fired the broadcast back up. And the energy was flat as a board.
I agree. You get I can feel her. I can feel her through the screen.
I'm sitting in my lap right now. It feels like a toddler spirit. Like she's good. Like she's here, but I got a text from one of the psychics, and she goes, "The energy in your house is all settled down. Like I don't know what happened." I said, "I don't either." She goes, "Well, what I think this is that whatever you have right there, it loves attention, and you need to give it attention and respect." And at that moment, I knew this doll was supposed to find me because I too love attention. Anyone that knows me, has known me for more than 30 seconds, knows I love attention.
Of course.
So we're a match made in heaven, and we have been good ever since then. She always had a seat right next to me next to the couch on a bookshelf, watching the TV. And I've taken her to Paracons and shit like that. Let people.
I remember seeing her for the first time. You used to put her out with a couple of other artifact, like enchanted objects that you have. I remember the ball
and it's not like oh don't touch that. You know, you're gonna carry the curse. You want to take a picture with her? Absolutely, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Bennett knows.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so we've had a good relationship, and she has made herself known to a few people that she doesn't like the way that they're talking. Like it happened to my ex. Like we were on video chat, and she happened to see it. She hadn't been here yet. She's like, "Oh, I really don't like that." She said some disparaging things, and I felt off for a few days, like not good. And a different psychic, totally different psychic. I know a lot of psychics for some reason. She randomly texted me and said, "Hey, like, how you doing?" I said, not very well. I feel like I have like an attachment or something. Like that's something that used to happen to me a lot too, because I wasn't very protected or grounded.
Right.
So she's like, "Well, if you don't mind, I'll remote read you in your house." I said, "Go for it." So she wrote back and she goes, "I don't know what's going on at your house, but there's like an older woman energy and it's just pacing in circles and it is upset." She's like, "Is there like a new woman in your life? Something going on?" And I explained what happened. She goes, "You have to have her. She has to, she has to apologize because things aren't going to go good if she doesn't." I said, "That's all you have to say." So I told her, I said, flat out, "I don't care if you believe in this shit. I live with her. You need to apologize to her."
Yeah.
And she did, and everything went away. So this one just has this. This is the matriarch energy of this whole house, of wherever I take her. She's the matriarch energy. I had taken her up to Parafest, Maine a few years back. And when I got home with her that Sunday evening, she was in the tote in the Jeep, still with the rest of the stuff.
Yeah.
I walked into my house. I heard a man and a woman talking and a child laugh. And I live alone.
Yeah, of course.
And when I brought her into the house, there was not a peep. I think all the other haunted objects were having a goddamn party while she was gone because she wasn't there to keep them held back. So it was one of those interesting things that had happened. And she's been with me since, and she will always be with me. You know, she's going to stay in the family forever. And what I did, so that same broadcast, we were trying to figure out like what this doll was. And we had some eagle-eyed viewers that were able to figure it out. And she is what's called a Grannykin doll. They came out between 1957 and 1959.
Okay.
And this one's name, I believe, was Karen. So just recently, because I've been looking for a long time, I found one in near perfect condition.
Oh my God, what a difference.
Of what she used to look like. So now she's got a twin that she sits with. She's still got her earrings.
My God.
Her nails are still painted. No shoes, but she's got like the hoop skirt part and everything. Like this one's in really good condition. And I was excited to find her because they're not easy to find. It's 70 years old almost. So eBay for the win on this one. But now we have the matching pair, and they haven't had any fights that I know of, so we're good.
What a huge difference between Ameline and
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Like that's what's so crazy about Ameline. It's like what happened to it? You know?
Yeah. Sometimes the craziest of objects, or the closer you bond to an object, it just happens to be random chance.
Yeah.
You know, and I know that you used to have like a ball and chain that had a lot of crazy energy on it too.
I sit on the floor right over here.
I remember holding that thing at one of the paragons. I'm like, oh my God, this thing is ridiculous, you know? So I know flip and flop because my brain always goes in different directions. I can't help it. It must be the squirrels in there. We're trying to figure out what the hell's going on next. The ticket you said you wanted to give away a couple of tickets this evening to some lucky person. How did you want to go about doing that for the Valentine's Day event? Did you
Yeah, no, I have two. I mean, these are actually shit. Did I answer the other one already? I had two really simple but good trivia questions. I'm gonna have to change one of them because you asked the question earlier and I answered it. And I wasn't even thinking.
I have no idea. I mean, I
no, that's all right. I'm just like, did we talk about that shit? Like, God damn it. Well, for those of you watching, I don't know if some of you are watching only because I'm going to give something away, but that's cool too. I want to give you an opportunity to win a ticket. Actually, you know what? We'll just do the one question and do two tickets. Make life easier.
Yeah, sure.
You know, so it's a simple question, and the first person that gets it right in the comments, all you got to do is message me, and you're on the guest list for this Saturday. Now, mind you, it's in Rockland, Massachusetts. You can come from wherever the hell you are in the world. That's fine, but just know that nothing is included with this except your entrance to this. I'm not paying your transportations or anything like that.
Nope.
I will let you in the door and let you sign the waiver to come and investigate with us at Hartsuff Hall. The question I have for you, Warner Paranormal Explorers, you heard, if you were here, you heard when it started. When I started Warner Paranormal Explorers, how many people were originally part of it? First person to answer correctly in the comments that we can see gets two tickets.
That's a great idea, because I mean, I don't think we covered the amount of people who were in, you know, the Explorers, because I mean, I know it's changed. It's been very different times and stuff like that. No doubt. Yeah, so I mean, you're quite the busy man, aside from running the house of Hirt and Payne and running the hall and, you know, keeping control of the Preservation Society. Now, you also work in a cemetery during monuments in the warmer weather, right? Or do you do it in the winter as well, or is it only in the warmer?
If there was no snow on, I'd still be setting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I set gravestones.
Yeah.
Kyle and Melanie are both wrong. Kyle, you're already going to the event. Don't even answer. Yeah. So I set monuments, gravestones. Year round when there's no snow. So that's the day job. Then I do concert security part-time. I do personal training part-time, do the paranormal part-time. I don't really like to sit still.
No, it doesn't sound like you ever do get a chance to sit still doing all that kind of stuff.
No, not so much. Not so much.
Man, I know that I actually did a session with you through your bare bones thing when I came down and did some stuff, and that was helpful at the time. I haven't been able to do anything because I've had health issues and whatnot and so forth, but I'm trying to get back into all of those kind of things. Oh, Nate was asking what the question was again.
You should be disqualified for asking that question, Nate. You weren't paying attention. The question was, Warner Paranormal Explorers, how many members were originally part of it in the very beginning?
That's excellent, man. You know, hopefully somebody will figure it out, because it probably shouldn't take brain surgery to figure out questions like that.
No, but, it's pretty. It could be tricky, but it shouldn't be tricky.
Yeah. I mean, you're just gonna get people who throw random numbers out until somebody figures it out. So that's okay too. Sometimes you gotta throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks.
Exactly. Sorry,
No,
Matt.
so,
Not right.
not right. Now I know that you're a horror aficionado. Like you love the genre probably for as long as I have. What is Morgan says 5.
Yeah, she's wrong.
So
Nate's wrong. Kyle's wrong. Thank you, Christy.
it's not.
Gene can't participate, so it doesn't count.
I guess it'd be 2. She said, I guess it'd be 2. Honey, we're doing something that night. Oh, my.
All right, Morgan, you're correct. I can't give it to Jean because she has plans that night, and she. You are correct. So the original Warner Paranormal Explorers was just myself and my daughter.
Nice. I remember, and I know you guys love urban exploring. I've seen all the pictures, and you guys used to, go and do all those. But I mean, it's a little too cold to be doing urbexing right now, obviously. But I'm sure if you had the opportunity, you'd probably even go out in the snow and do it because I know how much you.
Well, her and I will be doing some next week. We fly over to Scotland next week for my youngest daughter, her sister's birthday. We go over every year in February, and since last year we've been doing a lot of urbex over there because there's tons of places. So we'll be doing it next week.
Wow, that's cool. So one of my last questions that I love to get into, because I know we're both horror people, is what is your Mount Rushmore of horror characters?
Well, I mean, I've got them right here. So it's Leatherface, Michael Myers, Freddy, and Jason.
Now, is it in that particular order? Like who's your favorite horror character of all time?
To answer your question, Melanie, there are still a couple of tickets left. There's I think four or 5 tickets left. But fortunately, a guy if the ticket sales go kerplunk, But yeah, 4 or 5 tickets. No, so my order would be Leatherface edges out. What did I do? Fucking just gave away 2 tickets and I'm a shithead. God damn, can't take me anywhere. Leatherface always edges out Michael Myers just by a hair for me. I love the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's my favorite.
Oh God, yes.
Followed so closely by the original Halloween. And Trish, Jason's next.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to put Freddy out of the 4 in last. And honestly, as I've gotten old, like Freddy, because of everything he's done, is up there, but I don't really think Nightmare on Elm Street movies are that great overall.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
There's plenty of other horror movies that I think are superior, but for classic level Mount Rushmore, those are the 4 I would put on there for sure.
Well, and those are great, and pretty much all of those are Freddy's my all-time favorite. The original Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 is probably one of the things that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. It probably was one of the greatest in my time. And the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The original Halloween. I don't like how the franchise went off in 14 different directions, and they want you to forget 40 years of history just for the hell of it. They kind of bothered me a little bit.
The last 3 that they just didn't need to happen.
No, because the directors for those don't want you to remember anything that happened after the second one all the way until their movies, and they want you to forget 40 years worth of history. And to me, that takes away a lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I did see that A24 just acquired the rights to the Texas Chainsaw, and they're coming out with a movie, and they're also coming out with a TV show, which I think could be great. Although A24 likes to get really artsy fartsy, and some of this shit sucks. So I hope that doesn't happen. I don't want to be some woke version of fucking Texas Chainsaw.
I don't blame you there. And like you said, the top 4 guys are the ones you have on your knuckles, obviously. And for me, my newer guy is Art the Clown. I love the whole thing with him. He brought that franchise brought back special effects in horror, like actual, like not CGI, but actually made practical effects like a thing again.
I can't get into Terrifier.
No,
I'm going to give it a second chance, but I just couldn't get into it. I didn't. wasn't my thing. But I also like clowns don't either way for me. Like I also don't care for it, any of them.
That's
Pennywise,
okay.
any of that shit.
You know, William Shatner mask with a makeover. No, it is definitely true. I mean, the original Halloween movies were definitely great.
Oh yeah.
You know? So I want to wrap this up by thanking you, Matt, for coming on tonight and sharing all the wisdom that you have from all these years, and showcasing the House of Hirt and Payne, as well as the Hartsuff Hall and everything you got going on with the society. And if you could just let everybody know where they can reach you, and possibly if they want to schedule a private investigation at either location, the floor is yours.
Yeah, much appreciated. I appreciate you having me on. I really do. It's been great catching up with you. You can literally find me anywhere. I'm on socials everywhere. We have Warner Paranormal Explorers on all the socials, Warner Paranormal Preservation Society on all these socials, and warnerparanormal.com. We actually do have a worldwide website. We have all the information about any events that we have coming up there. And like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we're going to be trying to put some sort of event together every single month. We offer private rentals of Hartsuff Hall. And I do gatekeep this house because I live here. But if I know you or I trust you, I do offer private rentals of this house as well for paranormal investigation purposes. So reach out. I'm here. Love to have you guys come through. And we got a few tickets left for Valentine's Day. It's not anti-Valentine's Day because we're still celebrating love. It's just going to be with the ghosts. So we'd love to have you out.
That's awesome. Everybody, this is Matt Warner. I am Jeremy Cotter. Thank you for episode 4 of Twisted Tales, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next time. Gwen, you want to take us out? I appreciate it. Yeah, Matt.